Hi, I'm Olivier.
And I'm Rosé.
And you're listening to
Olivier and Rosé, the podcast where two girls get drunk and review movies that Katie
That's me.
has never seen. Katie, what movie did we watch today?
The Whole 9 Yards.
That is correct!
Yes!
You get $1. You get $1. Everybody gets $1. Correct. We watched The Whole 9 Yards today.
Yep.
So, going right into it.
Yep.
Today's rest day, and we didn't even watch the movie together this week, if we're being honest. We watched it separately in our beds and then came together to record.
Yes.
So...
It was very hard to get me out of the house today, because I just got home this morning, and I'm tired, because, you know, I'm just trying to really live my glory years.
So, like I said, right into it. The Whole 9 Yards was released in the year 2000, the new millennium.
Okay.
Yep. It was directed by Jonathan Lynn and written by Mitchell Kampner, whatever. And its runtime is 1 hour and 38 minutes.
100 minutes.
100 minutes. 1 hour and 38 minutes. The main cast is, again, obviously, Bruce Willis, who plays Jimmy Tedeschi. Matthew Perry, who plays Nicholas Ozeransky, but everybody just calls him Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Rosanna Arquette, who plays Sophie. Michael Clark Duncan, week 2, plays Frankie Figs.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Natasha Henstridge plays Cynthia. Amanda Peet plays Jill. And Kevin Pollack plays Yanni Gogolak.
Yanni.
So, Katie, you texted me and told me that you were, already different than what I thought it was going to be. So, why don't you read us your plot summary and what you thought The Whole 9 Yards was going to be about?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, buckle in. The Whole 9 Yards. This is about football, point blank. I don't know much about the game, but I gotta think that the last 9 yards are super hard to get. Bruce Willis is the quarterback, obviously. He basically, the whole time, keeps telling his teammates, you can't just get 8 yards, guys. You gotta get the whole 9. That's it.
So, wrong.
Yeah, it's not right.
No, but, I mean, to be fair, there's a movie called The Longest Yard.
Yeah, I think that's why, because I've seen that one, I just couldn't get it out of my head.
So they said The Whole 9 Yards in the movie, and I was like, they said it. Yeah, it was, super early.
Damn it, I missed it.
And Connor goes, do you know where that term comes from? And I went, no. He paused the movie and told me, and it's basically so on a plane, the gunners have just, a strip of bullets that you have to change for the turret. But obviously, you don't want to have to change that on a plane, so it ended up just being, a big strip, and it was about 9 yards long.
Yeah.
So when you gave them the whole 9 yards, it means you just, went through the whole thing.
Went through the whole thing of the plane?
Of, of all the bullets. It was just, a 9 yard, I'm doing a circular motion with my hands to try to explain it, but I don't.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're...
Yeah.
I know the word, but I can't say it because I don't remember it.
So, my history fiance threw that in my face in the middle of the movie.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, I guess, then.
It does.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so, The Whole 9 Yards is not actually about football.
Go figure. I'm alright, people.
It is about a man named Oz Osgaransky, who is a dentist who is living in Canada.
Dr. Oz. Dr.
Oz.
Mom loves him.
However, he used to live in Chicago. He's in a miserable marriage to his wife, Sophie, and he can't leave because he was in business with Sophie's father, and Sophie's father, embezzled a bunch of money, and now he's paying off the debt, so he can't divorce her because he'll basically be shit out of luck.
Yeah.
The movie starts, and his wife asks him for $5,000, and he's like, what for? And she doesn't answer, and he's like, whatever, fuck it, bye, and he leaves.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, I remember that, and now it all makes sense.
Matthew Perry fucking cracks me up.
Yes. He was the best part of this movie.
We're 2 seconds into the movie, and he's, slamming on the dashboard, and then he leaves, and then at the end of the driveway, stops his car, and immediately does it again. Yes, me too, Matthew Perry.
We get it. We get that anger.
So, he goes to work, and we meet his assistant, Jill, who tells him that his wife sucks anyways, and they jokingly talk about killing her, and... how much it would cost.
Yeah.
Jokingly, in quotations.
Yes.
However, when Oz gets home, a new neighbor has moved in. Brucey!
Brucey!
And Oz goes to, like, talk to him to be a good neighbor, which this just proves that you shouldn't be, like, neighborly and just leave people to their own fucking business.
This proves you shouldn't be friendly.
He goes over there and he's just like, hey, like, we're your neighbors.
Yeah.
And then he recognizes Jimmy and he's like, hey, do I know you? And then when Jimmy sticks out his hand, he sees his tulip tattoo.
Yep.
And that's when he recognizes him as Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi.
Yes.
Who was a contact killer for the Gogolak gang from Chicago.
Yes.
Which is how Oz recognizes him.
Side note, when I, like, moved into the apartment complex that I live in now, my, like, initial thought was, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if, like, we met some, like, another couple or, like, other people within the building and we became friends with them? But, like, in reality, I see someone going in and I wait in my car so we're not in the elevator at the same time.
You don't have to talk to anybody.
Yes.
Exactly.
And anytime I have to get into the elevator at the same time as someone else, I get real pissed. If I see them coming through the door, I press the button to close the elevator doors.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not staying open.
And
I
I'm
don't
like,
know what the problem
oh my
is.
god, sorry, bye. I just, like, hide in the corner and press the button repeatedly and be like, come on, come on, come on, come on. I really don't want to have social interaction at all.
And this movie proves that that's a good thing.
Yes.
Don't have social interaction, just stay in your house.
Yes.
Like Jenna Marbles.
Yes.
So, Oz goes back to his house after being good old Matthew Perry and just jumping at everything Bruce Willis says.
Yep.
And he tells his wife that Jimmy the Tulip is next door and that they have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And she has this idea that he's going to go to Chicago and he's going to tell Yanni Laszlo, Yanni Gogolak, Laszlo Gogolak's son, where Jimmy is. Because the reason that Laszlo is in prison is because Jimmy ratted him out.
Right.
So she's like, you go tell Yanni and where Jimmy is and you'll get a finder's fee.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to Chicago and he has really no intention of going to Yanni.
Yeah.
And he goes and has lunch with his friend and then he gets back to his hotel and Frankie is in his room.
Yes.
And it's just like...
Frankie Figs.
And he's like, yo, we're gonna go see Yanni.
Mm-hmm.
After he beats Matthew Perry up a little bit.
Yeah.
While this has happened, pretty much as soon as Oz leaves for Chicago, his wife goes to Jimmy to tell Jimmy what Oz is doing.
Yeah.
And also to hire Jimmy to kill Oz.
Right.
Because she originally hired Jill.
Yes.
Which Oz finds out later.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear in I think it's like in the first scene that we see Jill, she's on the phone and she's like, no, like, I'll give you your money back, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
She's talking to Oz's wife.
Okay.
So Oz's wife goes to Jimmy, tells him what Oz is doing, and also to hire him.
Mm-hmm.
So Frankie takes Oz to Yanni, and they have this whole conversation about how they're going to go see Jimmy, and this is where Oz also meets Cynthia, Jimmy's wife.
Yes.
She's soups hot.
Mm-hmm. She comes in slow-mo, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's actually accurate, but it seems like she does.
It seems like she does. And so they basically decide that the next day, Frankie and Oz are going to go back to Canada together so that, like, Frankie can keep an eye on Jimmy and on Oz until Yanni and his whole crew can get there.
Mm-hmm.
However, that night, Oz is at his hotel and Cynthia shows up and is basically like, Yanni sent me here, like, do you really know where Jimmy is, blah, 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 blah. And she tells him the story about how Jimmy and Yanni both want her dead because the three of them have $10 million in a trust that they can only get if all three of them sign. Or one person can sign with the other two people's death certificates. Yeah. So they both want her dead. And then they have a drink, and Oz is like, I'd never let them hurt you. Mm-hmm. And then she leaves and immediately comes back and they sleep together.
Yeah, she comes back for the dick!
For that sweet, sweet Matthew Perry dick.
That's actually the only way to describe Matthew Perry's dick, I believe. That sweet, sweet Matthew Perry dick. Oh, it'll be sure to have you laughing afterwards.
And during.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, Matthew.
Oh, okay. So, Oz and Frankie get back to Canada, and they go into the hotel room. And Jimmy's there. And I actually rewatched the scene 3 times because it's my fucking favorite scene in the entire movie. When Matthew Perry turns around and just runs into Michael Clark Duncan and then, like, falls over. It's just like,
I love it so much.
So, Jimmy's in the hotel room when him and Frankie show up. And plot twist, Frankie and Jimmy are actually working together.
Biffs.
Biffles.
Biffy. BFFs. I can't speak.
Whatever those terms are. And it turns out that Jimmy actually called Frankie to get Oz to bring him to Yanni so that Yanni would come to kill Jimmy so that Jimmy can kill Yanni.
Yeah.
Everybody got it? There's a lot of names, a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, I actually could stay focused. So.
Perfect. Great. That's what I like to do.
Yep.
So, they're all back in Canada. Frankie, Oz, Jimmy. And Oz has to go back to work, and he sees Jill and basically is freaking out and tells her that, oh, Jimmy the Tulip is my neighbor. And she's like, what do you mean? You have to let me meet him.
Yeah.
And turns out, as I mentioned earlier, that she's the one that Oz's wife Sophie hired to kill him the first time. And she loves Jimmy the Tulip.
Oh my god, obsessed.
He is her hero.
That's so funny.
And so they go and meet him, and Oz, Jimmy, and Jill have this whole conversation about how when Yanni shows up, they're going to kill him, and Jimmy hires Jill to help him. We now find out that Yanni is bringing Cynthia with him so that he can basically take them all out in one shot. He doesn't have to, like, go back and forth.
Yeah.
Oz gets super mad at Jimmy for saying that he's gonna kill her.
Yeah.
Because he obviously loves her already. And he tries to call Cynthia to warn her, but she's already left. Then when they get there, like, they get together and they're like, they're gonna kill you! And they both say it to each other right at the same time.
Yeah.
Oz and Cynthia. And they come up with this whole plan. At this time, Oz's wife is in bed, literally, with a new hitman to kill Oz.
Yes.
So,
what is his name?
The hitman?
Like,
the new one she
in
hires?
real life.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look it up.
He's in Superstar. He has a birthmark that looks like shit. Your birthmark looks like shit. Which is funny because he has like that little dragon tattoo on there now. Interesting.
Interesting.
Did he always have that? Probably.
So, Yanni shows up in Canada with Cynthia, like I said, and the night of the thing is gonna go down. So, Frankie, Yanni, Cynthia, Oz, and Yanni's 2 other little, like, hitmen are all
henchmen.
Yep. Are all at Oz's. And Jimmy is rolling up to his place. Where Jill already is, but no one knows that. Yeah. Besides the inside crew. Yeah. So, Yanni and Frankie and the other 2 henchmen go over to Jimmy's. And in a true men are fucking dumbasses theme that this podcast has, Jill comes out and she's naked. And she's like, oh, are you guys looking for something? Yeah. And then and then Jimmy kills the 2 henchmen. Yep. And then Jill shoots Yanni. Yep. And then Jimmy shoots Yanni again. And they're like, jobbed. Yep. But the guy that Oz's wife hired, her and him are outside in a car, and he sees Yanni walking across to Jimmy's house, and then she's like, oh yeah, my neighbor's Jimmy the Tulip. And he's like, this is a hit, I gotta go. So he runs out. They see him. Naked Jill leans out the window and is like, hey, what are you doing? And once again, men are idiots, and he gets distracted, and Jimmy kills him. Yes. And Oz and Cynthia run. They get in Oz's car, and they run away.
Good idea. That's what I would do.
Yes. Jimmy calls... They know that Oz and Cynthia ran away, so Jimmy has Jill page Oz, and he calls him, and this is when Jimmy finds out that Oz and Cynthia slept together. Yes. And he is not happy.
No, he is not.
He's, like, yelling, and Jill has to, like, pry the phone away from him. But Oz has come up with a plan. A win-win situation. Yeah. He's like, I know you killed a couple extra people. Turns out, one of them's a cop. the hitman that Oz's wife hired, is actually an undercover cop. So what they do is they take that cop and they take x-rays of Jimmy's teeth, and then they match the teeth of the cop. They do all this dental work so that his teeth match Jimmy's x-rays.
Yes.
Then they put Yanni and the cop with Jimmy's x-rays now into a car, and they burn it so that when they find it, Yanni and Jimmy are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Done. This will let Cynthia take out the $10 million.
Right.
So the next day, the cops show up at the dental practice and are like, hey, your car was found. Do you know where it is? And I was just like, yep, lent it to my neighbor to go fishing. Oh, do you think my Jimmy could be this James Tedeschi? I don't know. And in the, undercover cop's car, they find a tape recorder of Oz's wife trying to hire a hitman.
Yes.
Where she also mentions that her mother knows about it and wants it as bad as she does.
Yep.
So they go to jail.
Thank God I hated her.
I know. Connor goes, I hope they die. Do they die? And I was like, no, but they get theirs.
They get what's coming to them.
So everyone meets up in the city. Cynthia and Jill have to go to a bank to get the money, and Oz is like, I'm gonna take Jimmy to a museum. We're out in public, and he can't hurt me if we're out in public.
Right.
So they hail a cab, and Jimmy's like, we're actually not going to the museum. We're going to the marina. Right, Frankie? And Frankie is the taxi driver. So the three of them get on a boat, and they go out and basically just wait for the money to be transferred. Mm-hmm. Cynthia and Jill are at the bank, and Jill's basically like, yo, you and me, we could split this right now, $5 million apiece, leave Oz, blah, 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 blah. And it's basically a test to see if Cynthia really loves Oz. Mm-hmm. And she does.
Yes.
So they start to transfer the $10 million, but Jill's like, I want you to put the bulk into this account, but then I also want you to put $1 million into this account. Mm-hmm. And Cynthia's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, it's an early wedding present from Jimmy, but you can only pick it up if you show up with a valid marriage license.
Yeah. So
back on the boat, we find out that the money is transferred, and Frankie and Jimmy have talked about killing Oz regardless.
Right.
So Frankie and Oz are standing next to each other, and Jimmy goes to shoot Oz, and then plot twist, he shoots his BFFFFF, Frankie.
Frankie Figs. R.I.P.
Bye, Frankie. So, and he explains to Oz that if he didn't shoot Frankie, then Frankie would have killed Oz anyways, and then would have come after Jimmy and the money in the, future.
Yeah.
So, the last scene that we really see with Jimmy and Oz together, he's like, you love her, don't you? Mm-hmm. And Jimmy's like, who, Cynthia? And then we cut, and Jill runs into his arms, and they're totes in love because they're both psychopaths.
Yeah. So,
Jimmy's in love with Jill, Oz is in love with Cynthia, and he goes to the airport to meet her, and he asks her to marry him. And she immediately gets kind of sad, because she's like, oh, Jimmy told you, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Thinking that Jimmy told him about the $1 million.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Oz just loves her.
He's just a little puppy dog in love, that Matthew Perry.
They get married. They live happily ever after.
Yep.
The end.
The end.
And I just want to throw in, this was in my notes, the tagline for this movie was, life's a comedy. It's all in the execution.
What? That's a double entendre.
The end. There was also one that said, in the heart of suburbia, a hitman with a heart has just moved in. Late 90s, early 2000s taglines were the best.
I noticed the, Jill's, basically, her entire wardrobe is just, so 90s it hurts.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, though, I guess, that there were still, I don't know, car phones and, beepers in 2000.
So, one of the things I read was the Beatles, the 2000 Beatles were right when those came out, and Volkswagen wanted to pay this movie to use a Beetle, but only if a man drove it, because it was very much a woman's car, and they were like, no, we think it's a perfect car for Sophie, and they used it anyways, even though Volkswagen wouldn't pay them.
Huh.
And I forgot that those had car phones.
Oh, they did?
That's what she pulls it there. She's in the Beetle when Cynthia calls Jill.
I didn't know that the Beatles had car phone.
I guess
like
they did.
specifically.
I mean, that one did.
Yeah. Huh. That's so odd. I feel like I don't know if I should bring this up or later, but why were there so many flies?
Oh,
Do you know?
I do.
Is this a segue?
It can be a segue. Katie, do you know what time it is?
Give me the fun facts.
So, the houses that were used for filming were infested with so many flies, it was impossible to keep them from being seen, so they just left it.
Okay.
So they basically, the 2 houses that they have, they rented from 2 separate families for like a fuck ton of money for filming.
Yeah.
And one of them just happened to be infested with flies.
Is that why Bruce Willis? Was that like an ad lib or like an ad?
I didn't find
when
anything
he, like,
about that scene when he
grabs
like catches
it and like sucks it in his mouth and spits it out.
I don't know, but yeah, that's why there's so many, because they literally just couldn't avoid it.
That's so weird. Where did they shoot it? Did they shoot it in Canada?
I think it was in Canada.
Huh. Good to know. Canada infested with flies.
But
Tell your friends.
Have great maple syrup cookies.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. So,
weigh your options here.
In the very beginning, when Oz recognizes Jimmy, and it like has all the newspaper clippings.
Yep.
There's one newspaper clip, like one photo that says his 2 lips are sealed.
Yeah.
And the photo is actually from Die Hard 2.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Let's see. So, you know when Jimmy and Oz are at the flower cart?
Yep.
And there's like 3 kids that run by,
Uh-huh.
and Bruce Willis is like, they're his kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All of them?
All of them.
How many kids does he have?
I don't know. I feel like we mentioned this last week, and I know for a fact that there's Scout and Rumor, but I don't know who the other one is.
There's gotta be more.
There's gotta be at least 3.
I think his new wife was pregnant.
I think he just had a kid with her.
Yeah.
But I think these were all Demi's kids.
Oh, God.
Tallulah, Rumor, and Scout.
What a name. For every single one of them.
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay. So there was a rumor that Bruce Willis did Friends for free because he lost a bet on the set of this movie
to
really? Matthew Perry. And Matthew Perry was basically like, if you lose this bet, you have to do Friends for free. Lies. He got paid a fuck ton of money to do Friends. But he did, I think what happened was Matt Perry did bring it up to him and was like, hey, and he had so much fun with Matthew Perry that he thought it'd be a good time.
Yes.
Let's see, and then the last one, hold on, I have to queue up a video for this. One
Excellent.
sec. Talk amongst yourself.
La 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 la, la 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 la.
I forgot about this fun fact. I knew there was a reason I put it last. There's a song playing when Oz arrives in Chicago, and it's performed by Bruce Willis and his band.
Oh.
The harmonica solo is performed by Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow. Oh my god, Bruce Willis is a triple threat.
Right?
Damn, son!
And that little hip wiggle that he does is such a dad hip wiggle.
I know, I was like, put your dad moves away. Stop it. That's so funny.
But yeah, that's all I got.
That was very interesting. I like that a lot.
So, I think it's time for my new favorite segment that we do.
Yes!
What did we decide to call it?
Fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go through the main cast one more time.
Okay.
And then we'll do it. So, Bruce Willis, Jimmy Tedeschi, Matthew Perry, Oz, Rosanna Arquette, Sophie, Michael Clark Duncan, Frankie Figs, Natasha Henstridge, Cynthia, Amanda Peet, Jill, and Kevin Pollak, Yanni. So, Kevin Pollak, Yanni, fuck, marry, kill.
Kill.
Yeah, same.
Over him.
Yep, he's boring and dumb.
Yeah.
Amanda Peet, Jill.
Feel like I would just fuck her. Yeah.
Yep. She seems like she's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But she'd be a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Natasha Henstridge, Cynthia.
I'd fuck her.
Yeah.
Yeah. For different reasons.
Yep.
But, like, also I just don't really want to hang around with her for that long.
She seems very boring.
Yeah, she seems soups boring, which I'm just like, how did you ever end up marrying Jimmy?
Like,
God.
she walks in when she's talking to Oz and she's in, like, that sweet, like, tank top white thing.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie, she's in, like, a pantsuit.
Oh my god, like,
bitch,
that's,
no.
like, 8 times too big for her, and it's, like, you can't even see any, like, curve of her body, and I'm just like, why is that happening?
Michael Clark Duncan, Frankie Figs.
I might kill him.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really like him that much. Like, he was, like, I don't know.
I feel like yesterday
He's
we were
like a nothing character.
Any character that Michael Clark Duncan plays would be great, but I
Yeah.
don't like this guy.
Yeah, it's just not as good as, like, the character he played in Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly. Rosanna Arquette, Sophie.
Ugh, killer.
Yep, boring.
So annoying.
Matthew Perry, Oz.
Oh my god, I might marry him.
I'd marry Oz.
Yeah. He'd keep it fresh. So much laughter.
I love when Bruce Willis is like, you like living in Canada? And he's like, no, I live here with my wife.
Yeah. So sarcastic. Love Matthew Perry.
And, again, the reason for this movie. Bruce Willis, Jimmy Tedeschi.
I might marry him.
I feel like I'd marry Jimmy.
Yeah, like, I know he has a troubled past and he's killed a lot of people, but, like, we can look past that.
When we were watching the movie, and Amanda Peet is like, oh my god, I love you. Like, this is why I wanted to get into the killing business. Connor goes, that's you. It's like,
obsessed.
oops.
Creepily obsessed. That's so funny. I realized when I was watching this movie that I've seen the whole 10 yards.
Yeah.
Because this whole time I was like, when is the shootout scene coming? And then I was like, oh wait, that's not this movie, it's the next movie. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I, like, immediately afterwards, like, played the trailer for the next movie. I was like, yeah, this is the one I saw. Because I, like, already knew, like, when it started playing, I was like, oh, like, introducing everything, I was like, oh, I know, like, the character dynamics. Like, I know that, like, Jill is, like, in love with,
Yeah.
or whatever, like, ends up with Jimmy and all that shit. And I was like, oh, that's why I know. I've seen the whole 10 yards. So I have seen a Bruce Willis movie.
Yay!
Yep.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I have actually one more dumb little fun fact.
Do it.
So, Rosanna Arquette,
Yeah.
who plays Sophie, she is David Arquette's sister.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So, Rosanna Arquette is married to Matthew Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh, really?
David Arquette's, not in IRL. in
Oh,
the
yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah, in the
and
movie.
then David Arquette's IRL wife is
Mhm.
married to Matthew Perry in Friends.
Yes.
Circle.
Yeah, it's all full circle. That's weird. Isn't there another Arquette, the one with the teeth? She was like a medium on that show.
Yeah, the super blonde one.
When she was in Boyhood.
Yep.
Is that a sister?
I think so.
I feel like it might be.
Also, Rosanna Arquette was in Pulp Fiction. She played
was?
the, like, girlfriend of the drug dealer. But she was in it for so little amount of time that I didn't think it was important to bring it up.
Oh, I, like, honestly didn't even recognize her.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of the fun facts that I found on a lot of these movies were, like, Michael Clark Duncan would star with Bruce Willis later in The Whole 9 Yards. Like, Rosanna Arquette also starred with Bruce Willis in The Whole 9 Yards. Like, this person, because I feel like a lot of them have been overlapping.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess we'll do your rating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess, because I just don't even fucking know what's going on anymore, that you're gonna give this a hell yeah.
Yes! I'm gonna give it a...
Hell yeah.
Woo! Man, that's 3 out of 4 so far.
I know! For Bruce Willis!
And,
Bruce Willis, Mom?
I mean, I thought we were gonna start strong. I mean, I knew you were gonna hate The Fifth Element, but you
Yeah.
were like, maybe this isn't why, maybe
Yeah.
this is why I haven't seen any Bruce Willis movies.
Yeah, I usually go right to the darkest thought ever in life. I'm not optimistic with certain things. I'm super pessimistic about the whole month of Bruce Willis, but no, it definitely got better. I think it's funny. Honestly, I really like the dynamic of, like, Bruce's character with Matthew Perry's character. Because, like if Matthew Perry wasn't as, like, had so much physical comedy and just was, like, a crazy person the whole time and, like, super jumpy and, like, afraid of everything,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been, like, as fun.
And I love that fucking Jimmy is just always drinking martinis.
Oh my god, yes!
And when he's like, Oz, go pour yourself a martini. And he's like, it's 4:00 in the afternoon. And he just looks at him and he's like, yeah, I'll go get a martini.
Same. Done it too. Whatever.
And when he's like shaking and the phone rings and Oz is like, ah!
Yeah.
Jimmy's like, what's wrong with you? And he goes, I don't know.
Same. I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah. me
Hard
too.
relate to Oz.
Oh my god, yes. I feel like, yeah, it's their chemistry, or, like, the way that, they act towards each other is really fucking funny. It's also, I loved the scene when they're on the boat and he just kills Figs and then, like, tosses Matthew Perry a beer can and it just goes right by him into the water and Bruce Willis is like, the fuck, bro?
That was just
he's like, why did you kill him?
I know, because he's like, what would you do that for?
Yeah.
Plop. But why?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so funny. I love that. I love, like, the calm demeanor of Bruce Willis and then the uptight, sporadic demeanor of Matthew Perry. I think that's definitely what makes the movie, obviously.
Yeah.
In my professional opinion.
This movie's really funny, and I feel like it's got a lot of, like, old school, like, slapstick.
Yeah.
Where just, like, Matthew Perry will fall or, like, do something stupid, and then I crack up at it.
Yes.
So.
Oh, God. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I felt like it went by super quick, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it already ended, and I was like, oh, shit.
And I was thinking, well, because yesterday, last week, Armageddon was 2.5 hours, and this is an hour shorter.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah. I feel like when it's a good movie, though, you just, like, you don't even notice the time.
You don't realize the time, exactly.
Yeah. Great movie.
Great movie.
10 out of 10. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Katie likes Bruce Willis movies, apparently.
Yep.
That is actually going to be it for Bruce Willis month. I mentioned this last week, but we're going to do a special movie on the 30th because we're doing a special movie for Groundhog Day because Groundhog Day falls on the first Saturday.
Yes.
And we post on Wednesdays. So special movie for Groundhog Day on the 30th.
Yeah.
And then...
That's going to be good, I hope.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to find my rating. I'm glad somebody does.
So, thanks for joining us this week.
Thanks for, hanging out with us while we talk to you super hungover and just tired in general.
It's Sunday today.
Really feeling the Sundays.
It's rough.
Yeah.
The Sunday scaries haven't hit me yet, but they will. I get them real bad.
Yeah, they totally will. It's never really as bad as you think it's gonna be, but whatever.
But it's bad. So, the shout out this week goes to Boobies and Newbies. You can find them at Boobies Podcast on Instagram. They were the first to answer the clue correctly, and honestly, the only ones to do it. So, congrats, guys. If you would like to get a shout out, you can follow us on Instagram at Olivier Rose Pod and answer the clues that I put up on Mondays.
Yes.
Yes. We also have a Twitter, which again is Olivier Rose Pod, an email, which is olivierrosepod@gmail.com. However, on the website, you don't have to go through all that shit. If you just go to olivierrosepod.squarespace.com, you can learn about me and Katie.
Learn.
And how we met. And our puppy sister status.
Ruff.
And it also gives you a link to the SoundCloud where you can listen to all the episodes, links to the Instagram and the Twitter. There's a contact page so you don't have to email us. The website does it for you. Yeah. And there's also links to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all that shit. Yeah. So you can see all of the stuff.
We made it so easy for you. The only thing you have to do is go on your phone and press a couple buttons.
Also, if you're like a lot of people I know and like to download your podcast before you go to work so you don't have to use Wi-Fi, but you happen to forget to download it before you leave, we also have YouTube where we put up episodes every week. There's obviously no video. It's just the
audio.
Just the audio. But I know that a lot of people listen to podcasts that way, so we do that for you as well. Yeah. Which, again, link on the website.
Couldn't make it more easier for you to listen.
So... once again, our website is olivierrosepod.squarespace.com.
Maybe one day we'll be spons.
Maybe. Someone sponsor us.
Maybe one day we'll hashtag add it. But until now, we'll just use it for free.
Also,
but actually it's not for free.
Also on our website is a link to our Patreon. We have a few fun levels. Mm-hmm. Those are what they're called. A few fun levels.
I've checked them out. They are fun.
The first one is only $1, and you just get a nice little social media shout out from us. Mm-hmm. There are 2 different $5 levels. Yep. One where you get a shout out on the podcast from Katie.
Hey!
And the other where you get a shout out from me.
Whoop whoop.
So if you want to do that, there's also a $10 one.
Yeah, if you're feeling like a super fan and you want to stalk me.
Yeah. Where on the $10 level, you get to choose a movie that we can watch. If one of us or neither of us have seen it, we will watch it.
Yep.
And if you like, you can choose a drink that goes along with that movie that you would like us to drink.
That'd be cool.
It's kind of very different from what we normally do with just drinking martinis and wine. So, like, if you want to have us mix it up, $10 a month, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And again, with all those levels, you'll get access to the, like, Patreon special stuff where we're going to release extended episodes with some of the stuff that we cut. It's funny, I just cut it because I sometimes feel like it's not great to be out in the world, but it'll be on Patreon.
It's like hot goss.
Hot goss.
For those of you not in the know, that means hot gossip.
So if you want all the spilt tea, throw it in those millennial terms.
Preach it, Rose.
Donate on Patreon and you'll get that hot spilt tea.
It's piping hot tea being spilt all over you. That doesn't sound great, but it is.
And then the last thing is, please rate and review us on iTunes.
Do it.
The 5-star rating is great, but also we like to read your reviews to know what you guys like.
Yeah.
Let us know if you guys like the new segments.
Yeah.
The Fuck, Marry, Kill segment and the Katie's Plot segment.
Yeah.
If you have any ideas for other ones, if you hate what we do, be nice and let us know.
Yeah.
But, like,
say it to my face.
5 stars is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that. It really does help. And catch us next week for a special movie. All right, so thanks so much. Catch you next week.
Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.